so you finish Beastars and have realised that the second series is still a little way off. Now what furry anime do you watch? Faced with this issue ourselves, we thought we would take a look into the vast array of anime that's out there and find some that really help satisfy that furry itch. Hello, I'm Shadow Raccoon.
And I'm Theodore Rabbit.
And here are some animes that are just as furry as Beastars.
Possibly even more.
Okay, so this isn't quite out in the West yet, at least at the time of recording, but I really feel like this needs to be on the list because it could well turn out to be more furry than Beastars. Set in the 21st century, this series features the existence of humanoid animals called Beastmen, who, after spending years and years hiding in the darkness, have finally been revealed to the world. The story focuses around Michiru, a high school student who is suddenly turned into a Tanuki Beastman and has to seek refuge in the city designed for Beastmen in order to be able to live safe and free. Whilst living there, she befriends the other Beastmen and embarks on a strange and twisted adventure to discover and find out just how she became a Beastman. The series features a wolf character named Shiru Ogami, who has a keen sense of smell and immense strength, a Sphinx cat who's a town mare, and even a cockerel named Gemhorner who helps house the main character. So yeah, it really is a great range of animals in this anime and something for everyone. And the episode titles just intrigue you even more, with titles such as Rabbit Town, which I know Theodore is very keen to find out what that's all about, and one called Greedy Bears, which, yay bears, really sells to me. I think this anime is going to be one like Beastars and is something that we see mentioned everywhere for months and months to come, and I just can't wait to see the fan art. Right now, the anime is on Japanese Netflix, for those of you who have access to a VPN and can speak Japanese, and for the rest of us, an international release is planned for later this year, because Netflix is very good actually at getting that sort of thing sorted. There's also, for those of you who know how to get hold of these sorts of things, an English fan dub too, floating around online. Links are not in the description below, because piracy, you know.
Gengar Densetsu Weed is a 2005 sequel to the popular 70s anime Gengar, Nagabadashi Jin. Sorry for my bad Japanese there, guys, I butchered that horribly. The story follows a young Akita pup, Weed, who after the death of his mother goes on a journey with his friend GB to find his father and to free his homeland from the evil laboratory dog just known as the Monster. Weed is our lead character for this series, and it's an adorable little young pup who in typical anime style is a headstrong and full of fighting spirit and desperate to prove himself, and who predictably bites off more than he can chew most of the time. Along the way, Weed meets a lot of other enemies and friends, and of course lots and lots of other doggos on his adventures. So for all you certified good boys out there, this is a great one to watch. The tone of the show is from the outset dark, and doesn't hold back when it comes to the fights. There are a few, believe me, but they are very epic, and you really want to know the stakes, and by the end of it, I was on the edge of my seat. Featuring 26 episodes, it's great to binge watch. While it's not on most major streaming platforms, it's very easy to find subbed on YouTube at the moment of this time.
African Office Worker, or Africa Salaryman, is a Japanese comedy slice-of-life manga turned into an anime series, which I think will satisfy many of you. The concept of this anime is actually very simple. What if your everyday office co-workers were actually anthropomorphic animals from the African continent? Episode stories feature a look at the unique situations that occur from this, and how they cope with Japanese office life culture, which I'm sure many of you have heard lots of things about. For those of you who have seen Agretsuko, this might actually feel quite familiar, and I'd agree it does feel quite similar, probably a bit more grounded, and of course with a lot less heavy metal. Now, the series features 3 main characters. We've got Lion, who once was the king of the jungle, and now is nothing more than the middle manager of his company. Still, despite having this intimidating lion appearance on the outside, he actually has a heart of gold and makes for a fantastic, grounded main character. There's also Toucan, a laid-back but hard-working bird, who might come across as a little bit shallow from time to time, but I'm pretty sure will be a big favourite amongst all you bird viewers. Finally, there's also Lizard, who is probably the hardest working out of all the characters, and also the serious one. So he's the one that's going to be saying no and, ruining everyone's fun. And even when he does try to be jokey, often his jokes just don't land, so he's that character. This series is available fully on Funimation's streaming platform, and in some places Netflix too. It's got 12 episodes, so, watching it doesn't feel like a huge commitment, so it's definitely something you can easily try out. And for those of you furs who, like me, work in an office all day, I do recommend checking this out, because I'm pretty sure you're going to find a few parts that you can really relate to.
Chaos Century Beast Warriors, also known as Chaos Century Beast in most other places, is a short 6-part anime way back in 1992, featuring a group of 3 Beastmen set in the distant future where the Earth is now split into 2 hemispheres, North and South. The North of the Earth is now in another dimension where everyone can morph into Beastmen, and the South is populated by the humans, who for some reason want all the Beastmen dead. I certainly know which part of the Earth I'd prefer to be on. The story follows 3 Beastmen: Wan, the headstrong tiger; Bud Mint, a cocky bird who reminds me an awful lot of Falco from Star Fox; and Mir, the merwoman, who, having successfully escaped the humans, go on a quest to find Gyre, the famous treasure. While trying to find this treasure, they're constantly trying to escape the humans, Vidam and Visoon, 2 characters who, in my opinion, really feel like Jesse and James from Pokemon. The tone of the show, while it's quite dark sounding from the premise, is actually very much a comedy, and the oddly English dub that was made really brings a character all of its own, which I really, really like. Another one that's not seemingly on any streaming service, though there was a VHS which you can't get on Amazon if you really feel that retro feel. This anime can, at least at this point of the recording, be found on YouTube, and I highly recommend it if you need a bite-sized show to cheer you up. Go on expecting something silly, and I think you will be quite satisfied.
This anime couldn't be any further from Beastars if it tried, and I will have to admit I've probably mentioned it quite a few times on here by now. Still, it's a personal favourite. Kuma Cafe is an adorable slice-of-life anime set around a cafe run by a polar bear obsessed with puns, and its patrons, including a fish-out-of-water panda who's finding his way in the working world, a hopeless romantic penguin, and the non-animal waitress. Stories feature a vast range of day-to-day events that we can all relate to, that happen amongst the friends, such as going for a day out at the beach, penguin learning to drive, and panda trying to go on a diet. Notably, the humour in this anime can feel a little odd at times, as one of the reasons is because polar bears' jokes heavily rely on misheard words, which obviously don't translate too well from Japanese to English, and it's the reason they've never actually dubbed this. Still, other jokes do land really well, and the animation is just so beautiful. Now, a lot of people do regard this anime as well as a fantastic way to learn Japanese due to its straightforward structure, the word pun jokes. So, if you're thinking of learning or trying to learn Japanese, maybe put this one on your list too and check it out. Popularity-wise, this anime is big enough to even have a cafe inspired by the program in Tokyo. So if you find yourself in Tokyo, Japan, do go check the cafe out. It's really awesome. We went there. And if you want to check this out, it is available in full on Crunchyroll. It's got 50 episodes, so there's plenty to sink your teeth into. And I promise you will be hooked by its charm. It's so kawaii. So there we go. Those are some furry anime alternatives to help you keep you entertained. Hopefully there was something that takes your interest on that list. What furry animes do you recommend? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, or consider supporting me on Patreon. There's a link in the description below. I'd like to give a big shout out right now to my newest patron, Beastly Drohan. Did I say that right? Thanks for your support. I really appreciate you joining us on my Patreon. I'm Shadow Raccoon.
And I'm Theodore Rabbit.
And stay safe, everybody. Bye.